Hey, welcome to Secondhand Blasters. I am your host, Normatico here, and soon will be joining me G-Rex, where we're actually going to be discussing not quite so new Nerf blasters. So of those things that I got into the hobby when I was a younger kid and really got into the modding hobby recently, one of the things I noticed about Hasbro is, look, they charge quite a bit for their blasters nowadays. So, you know, as a parent, I have to look out to see what's on a budget. So that being said, I like to go thrift shopping. I like to go and get bargain deals when it comes to blasters. I never pay full price for a new blaster, period. So I decided to make this channel because there's a lot of YouTubers out there and a lot of reviewers that they review the blasters when they're brand new and when they haven't released yet. But they're also talking about stuff from the perspective of, oh, we are a hobbyist and this is what, you know, why this blaster is bad or this blaster is not so bad. And these are the best ones for competitive ways. My channel is going to be a little bit different. We're actually going to be reviewing the blasters from the standpoint of a parent, myself, and my child, who is G-Rex. So my plan is to open up some of these blasters. We're going to do a couple of new unboxings that I've gotten off of bargain deals, and we're going to do a lot of some secondhand blasters as well. I will be doing some modifications on blasters, just fun ones, where I can test to see with my kid, hey, how do you like this blaster now after we fixed it? I will also be showing later on in the channel how to fix some common issues with blasters, such as the Nerf Centurion, which I looked all over to find how to properly fix the jamming issue, and I kind of figured it out. So I'm going to show you how I did that later on in another video. So go ahead and click that like and subscribe button, and you'll get the video when it pops up on your feed. Now, today we're going to go ahead and start off with a blaster that I just purchased today at Walmart for a whopping $9. Its standard retail is $15.50, so that fulfilled my promise of not paying full price. That is the Trailblazer, the Elite 2.0 Wild Edition. Now, Elite 2.0 has gotten a bad reputation. A lot of people don't like it because it's not very mod friendly. One of those things that with the Commander when it came out, there was the Warden. They're not really good blasters. Hasbro did not do a good look when it came to the Elite 2.0 series, especially after what people called the abysmal presentation of Nerf Ultra. Now, I am not here to say anything bad about Hasbro or Nerf Ultra. Me personally, I could show you my collection later on. I have almost every single Nerf Ultra that has been sold, except for the Dorado because, well, that one's pretty expensive to get imported into the United States. But that said, let's go ahead and talk about the Trailblazer. So we're going to go ahead and unbox this now, and we'll see what we can do and what it's like. All right, so let's look at the box here. What do we got here? It says Nerf Elite 2.0 Trailblazer RD8 Wild Edition. Made by Hasbro. Hey, look, plastic-free packaging. That's always nice. I'm quite the environmentalist, and I'm all about saving the planet, and it's nice to know that this is completely recyclable and biodegradable. So they do include 16 darts. Looks like they do blue. I guess that's what the Wild Edition is. I don't know what's the difference between Elite 2.0 and Elite 2.0 Wild Edition other than the color scheme. So it is an 8-dart drum in this blaster. They give you 16 darts. Wait. Oh my gosh, they give you 16 darts. Is Hasbro learning from the competition? Alright, so it used to be that Hasbro would only give you as many darts as the blaster could hold, in either inside its chamber or in whatever accessory that it has. Now they're doing 16, so no, I don't see any accessories here. Let's take a look at the back of the box. Alright, well, it explains how it works. You have the primer, you have the 8-dart drum, and it includes one tactical rail on the bottom. Okay. So, I will say that I'm tactical rail for a revolver that's a secondary. I don't know if that's necessary on the top, but it would be nice. I guess I could put a light here. I will discuss tactical rails and the additions that you can add to them later on in the video. I have a couple here that I like to use, but yeah, it's kind of disappointing that that rail's down there. I guess maybe we can get an aftermarket rail that we can install there later on, but we'll see. Let's open the box. So these right here are not plastic, they're not rubber, they're paper. So let's paper cuts through scissor. And I should say scissor cuts through paper. Derp. All right, that one does not want to cut properly, so let's go this way. Should have used my X-Acto knife, but oh, there we go. All right, now that is the blaster. You know what? That's not bad. It's okay. Well, that's different than what I'm used to for a revolver setup. Anyone who remembers the Maverick and the Strong Arm knows that there was a button here that would flip out with a barrel. They kind of went with the Hammershot, but not really. Because you can front load this, I guess. Okay. I mean, I see what they did here. I don't know if I'm a fan of it necessarily because that takes away from the aesthetic. But I guess this is the ugly side. Now, I will say that the fact that they did not show this on the packaging is kind of weird. They packaged it like this. The what I like to call the pretty side of the blaster facing outwards. Usually Hasbro has this thing where they don't decorate the back side lately for cost-saving measures, I guess. I don't know why they do it that way because it used to not be that way. That was my only gripe about the Ultra Series is that it had a beautiful paint scheme on the pretty side, but then on the back it was very, very plain, and that was their quote-unquote premium line. But, all right, well, I like to paint these things, so the colors will not have too much of a problem with me. This, though, I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. So let's go ahead and finish opening the box. There's some tape here. And some tape here. Oh, all right. Well, this is different than what Hasbro's been doing before. So they used to put these things in like a little styrofoam. I know that's what they did with the Moto Blitz and with the Eagle Point. And yeah, so all right, these are blue darts. There's no styrofoam packaging, but again, it's all about being eco-friendly, I guess. So we go one. Then I guess we can no, that's too tight of a fit. Two. Wow, that's a stiff barrel. Three. Four. Now I will say one of the things I'm a big fan of is our Etsy shops, where you get a lot of creative people who can actually make modifications for these blasters. Just to let you know, Etsy, get on it. A speed loader for this would be amazing, especially if you're doing a Nerf war. Of course, I always like to say the joke when it comes to handguns and pistols. Revolvers are fun. If you need more than 8 shots to, just defeat whoever you're shooting against, you shouldn't have a gun in your hand anyways. So reloading shouldn't be a problem on the battlefield. But that being said, this is Nerf, not real life. So we have all 8 darts loaded. We have 8 left over here. Now that's kind of good because, hey, these are different darts than usual. And let's go ahead and focus on those now. Elite 2.0 Wild Edition darts. So color scheme, there's 2 color schemes for the Elite 2.0s. You get the orange with the blue heads and then the blue with the orange heads. They're both kind of the same. They both have that soft styrofoam feel, though this one feels a little bit stiffer, I guess, maybe. They're both very soft. It's almost like a rubbery plastic. It's like a rubber, more like a rubber than anything else on the heads. That's one of the things I don't like about the Nerf darts are the heads. They're very soft, and the foam, it's softer material. I will say, and you'll see in the background some things that I ordered that are aftermarket materials. The aftermarket brand of darts, they're pretty good. And they're a lot less than what Hasbro charges for these little things. And I'm not talking about Dart Zone either. So we'll discuss those later on. Now, let's take a look at the priming. Okay, my hand, you know, I have regular size hands. Some would say they're large, some would say they're small, depends. But, you know, I can arch my thumb, that cocks right. And so it's kind of big. I'm not gonna lie, it's not quite like the Hammershot. The Hammershot was easy to reach with your thumb, but we'll see. Now, we do have the different screws here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and it looks like there's a 12th screw inside of there. So it looks like those are actual screws. It is not welded, which is kind of cool. That means that it is mod capable. I think Hasbro realized their mistakes in the past. Wow. Now, if it is based on the Hammershot, I know a couple of mods that we can do. There's obviously the spring spacer mod that you can find on Etsy. I know that I got one for the Hammershot recently, which I will show later on in this video when I do a comparison. And then you can also do a spring upgrade. So hopefully there's that. I'm going to have to see, because Hasbro's been doing this thing recently with 2.0 that it makes it interesting to get rid of the air restrictor. I know that some people said that it's very difficult and a pain in the butt to do it with the Eagle point. I was able to do it without a problem, but then again, I like to tinker with things. It comes from having an IT and engineering background. So that being said, let's go ahead and see what this is geared towards, because I'm an adult. I am quite older than most Nerf players. However, I am an immature adult who likes to play with these things. We are going to now focus on who the target audience is for this. I will say, parents, this is a pretty good deal if you can pick it up for $9 at Walmart. That's better than most things. And if it's anything like the Hammershot, in my opinion, your kids are going to love this. So let's go check it to the target audience. All right, everyone, so I'm out here with G-Rex, and G-Rex there is holding the Trailblazer Elite 2.0 Wild Edition RD8. I guess RD8 stands for Rotating Drum 8. So, G-Rex, tell the good people out there what you think.
It doesn't really have that much grip. I mean, it has grip in the back. It doesn't really have grip in the front that much. And it's kind of hard to cock with my one hand.
You heard it there, kids. It is kind of hard for a child to cock. Now, G-Rex, tell the audience, how old are you?
I'm 10.
You're 10, and this is rated for an 8 and up. Now, let's go ahead and show how it works when you fire it, if you have to do both hands. Well, you see, you cocked it there with one hand. So, go ahead and fire it.
Wow, we're pretty far.
So, hand that over to me really quick.
Okay.
Let's stand to the side here. From where I'm at, I've measured this out, folks. G-Rex, go ahead and walk out there really quick and recover the darts.
All right.
So from here where I'm standing, folks, which is at the beginning of my garage, to where he picked up those darts, it is approximately 55 to 58 feet. So that's the range. Now, his shot was kind of straight. Mine was at a parabolic angle. So there you go. That is the distance of it. Now, I do not have a chronograph, so unfortunately I can't tell you how fast it shot, but Just so you can see it again, this is a straight shot. Go out and get where the dart is. Straight shot's about 30 feet. Now, I will let you know that this is not a controlled environment. There is quite a breeze out here, so that could be affecting it, and it is the Elite 2.0 darts. Now, my plan is to go ahead and modify this gun later on so that it can take the mini darts, and also might do an air restrictor removal if possible, as well as upgrade the spring. All right, and we are back, and G-Rex here, he has my Hammershot. This is a modified Hammershot. G-Rex, go ahead and show everyone how that one works and what you think about it.
Well, I really like the color. The grip, there really isn't much, but I mean, it's kind of slippery.
And okay, but what about the cocking mechanism?
I kind of have to hold the thing down a little bit on the bottom.
Okay, but you can do it with one hand, you think?
Yeah.
All right. Well, just to let you know, folks, this is a modded Hammershot. It does have a spring upgrade in it, as well as a spacer, so it is harder to cock than a stock Hammershot. It also does shoot a little bit further. So, just to let you know, we will do a shot. You remember how far the Trailblazer went? This is the Hammershot. Straight shot. Arc shot. Let's go get Gage to retrieve it. So he went approximately 65 feet and 70 feet respectively. The Hammershot is a little bit more powerful. This is part of the Z-strike series. It's one of the weapons that it's my personal favorite, but the Trailblazer, it's a good evolution. Okay, so now just to let you know, size comparison, this is the Trailblazer, this is the Hammershot. So the Trailblazer is comically larger than the Hammershot. The thumb grips, or I should say the thumb primer is the same, the cocking mechanism. The trigger is smaller on the Hammershot, it's a little bit larger. The barrel is longer on the Trailblazer. As you can see, the Hammershot does not have this little barrel thing. Neither does the Trailblazer. If you look inside, that is empty space. There's no tube in there. So really, that's just, I guess it's just a design choice. I don't know. They wanted to do something that wasn't a Hammershot. That's my best guesstimate. It does look nice. It looks like it's a massive gun. Again, it is Hasbro, so they're not going to do a realistic paint job. Not like this is very realistic either. However, I did a little bit of extra paint on this. I did a rose gold barrel, and I also added some gold dry brushing highlights there and there as well. Just because of the red and gold, it looks nice. And then these are chrome accents that I added as well. And of course, that is my own little maker's mark due to the modifications that I've made. So, speaking of those modifications, we will be showing those very shortly. We're going to show you the internals here in just one moment of the Hammershot and of the Trailblazer. Alright, so I skipped you the boring part of me doing the screws. As you can see, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 screws in this modified Hammershot. They call it the Trailblazer. I will say that one thing that is different here, and you'll notice that when you try to open it, this piece right here, I've already kind of separated a little bit. This piece right here is a separate piece. So you have to split the blue, and then you pull that off. So I made the rookie mistake of leaving my darts in. Let's go ahead and fix that. So this piece right here should separate without a problem. Oh, well that's different. So normally in the Hammershot and every other one of the rotating barrels, this part right here, it's separate. This actually is usually stuck to this section. And then this kind of fell out of some of here as well. I guess, oh, must be what goes in here to help rotate the barrel. So let's take a look at what we have here. The spring is there. I believe this section might come out. That little cap goes out. And this is all one section. Okay, so one of the things I was worried about was that this part, you couldn't get to the spring because of this section. I thought it might have a back section as well, and I didn't see any screws here. So there's one big difference between here and the Hammershot, and we will go ahead and show you that in just 1 second. Let's go ahead and switch to a side-by-side view. Okay, so we're back, and here you'll see the internals of the Trailblazer and the Hammershot, not quite side by side, I guess one on top of the other. So they are pretty much identical, save for one big difference, and that is that the Trailblazer, it is upside down compared to the Hammershot. But it's kind of the same setup here with this little plate that holds everything down. And the spring is easily accessible. Now, I mentioned earlier about a spring spacer for the Hammershot. That is what I'm talking about. Now, I do know that the YouTuber of all YouTubers when it comes to Nerf things, he did a video where he actually used hard, almost like a business card or like a playing card, folded up with a cross section cut out. You can do that, and I do have another Hammershot that has that, and it does boost the performance. Now, that being said, this spacer is one I got off of Etsy from a store called Foamdemic. I'm going to make sure to actually put a link to their store on there. I really do like their work. This is the second spacer that I bought from them. One was for the Fortnite Heavy the Heavy SR sniper rifle, and that definitely boosted the power for it. So it made it from a meh, okay, I guess, Mega Dart Blaster to oh wow, it's actually a functional sniper. So, that being said, let's go back to the Trailblazer. So, real simple. I'm sure that once we take off these screws, this is probably going to want to pop out and fly out. I can see there's that same spring, which is a pain in the butt in the Hammershot to set back in unless you know what you're doing. I do see that there's an air restrictor here. I don't know if I can get this out necessarily. I mean, I probably can. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can, actually. Because it doesn't look like there's anything... Oh, yeah. Okay, so I don't know. I've seen other reviews done by the Trailblazer from early access, and people were complaining about, oh, you can't really do an AR removal. And whenever I've tried to find anything on Reddit, no one has anything up there yet. So I might make a video of myself actually modifying this to show people how to do it, because if you've modified a Hammershot before, this should be pretty simple. It's just working backwards. So you can take out the primary air restrictor from here, and then of course right here you have the little holes back here for the darts, which that you can take a Dremel tool and take this out in like maybe a minute and a half. I've done it several times with almost anything that has a rotating barrel in it. It's really easy. So yeah, we might do a different video regarding this. Putting it back together seems pretty straightforward. You slip this in. Of course, I have to jinx myself by saying it's straightforward and then having butterfingers. So, got that. This is the cap underneath. I guess goes here. There's a little spot there for that. That's kind of nice to know. Of course, I would put it backwards, upside down. Maybe. Yep, no, that's how it goes. There we go. And then we have this section here, which I'm assuming fits just like so. And then this little sucker that fits just like so. So, all right, one of the things I've noticed, I'm going to point this out. In all of the other Hammershot style blasters, this little section, let's show it here on the Hammershot, it is attached. That is pretty well in there, you know, and that is what holds the front of the barrel down. This is not. So, I mean, I don't know what Hasbro is doing here. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, really. I'm going to lean towards bad. I guess it's a cost-saving measure because glue is expensive is what their execs are going to say, I guess. I don't know. Got to keep the stockholders happy by, you know, lowering production costs somehow and charging the same amount. Can't pass it on to the consumers, I guess. Look, I know that sounds like a big complaint, and I know a lot of reviewers will complain about Hasbro. Oh my gosh, corporate greed, corporate greed. It's one of those things. I work for, you know, in the corporate world, and I get it. You have to save costs wherever you can sometimes, and to make a profit. The truth is that if you want to make a profit, you do cut costs to, you know, when it comes to your product, and you keep the same price. Because that way, you, instead of charging more for the product, you are essentially charging the same price, but you have less of an overhead cost. So it's basic business sense. It makes sense for Hasbro to do this on their end. But as a consumer, I don't know. That's just how I see it. Let's go ahead and get this back in properly. There we go. And which way did this go? I don't know. Which way did it go, George? Which way did it go? Ah. All right, so this is the curse of Hasbro not liking modders, apparently, because they make it difficult to put back together. Or interesting to put back together. Of course, since I was doing this live, I'll have to look at this video to re-see it. Okay, so it looks like that fits that way. I'll be honest with you. As much as I don't like the fact that it's glued, I do like this over the Hammershot, because the Hammershot, when you put the barrel back together, one of the things I used to run into was that this little section could fit one of two ways, and you can't tell which way is right until you go to close it. So, I guess that's an improvement. That only fits one way. Now, let's put this little section back on. It has a guiding section, which is always nice. It makes it idiot-proof, or in my case, dad-proof. And there we go. So now we just put the shell back on. And it claps back together. So all in all, I will say that this blaster is easier to take apart and put back together than some of the other Elite 2.0 blasters I've seen, mainly the Eagle Point. That one is the only one that I've been able to successfully take apart without having to do some chemistry with the welding. So up next, we're going to go ahead and screw these things back in. I do want to go ahead and let you know, if anyone's out there modding stuff, I highly recommend getting one of these. It is so much easier than using a regular manual screwdriver. It saves so much time. Also, this one itself, it is not an actual brand name. I'll put a link for this one also on the video. Check in the comments. It's about $45 for this set, 61-piece set. Also includes this little magnetic board. There's not enough torque necessarily to strip the screws, which is kind of nice, but it is good enough to go ahead and just do this. I've put enough screws in here, at least on the top section. Let's just go and make sure this still works. It does. So that means that I put it back together properly.